and we're here to celebrate our 6th grant breakfast. We have so many members here. We expect people will continue to trickle in. We have more than 15 guests here today, and we have brochures and pledge forms on the table, so we hope you'll join us. And we have 24 representatives from the organizations who will be receiving grants this morning. So it's great to have you all here today. Over the years, our grant breakfast has grown in size. Our membership has grown as well, and that affords us the benefit of being able to grant out more money. But one thing that really has remained constant over the years is our mission, our shared mission among all the people in this room and passion to help women and girls in our community. And that's why we're here today, to give our grants to the organizations that really do the work. Today, we are granting $132,000. Thank you. It is really a major feat, and we thank all of you for your contributions that make this possible. Just as a point of fact, I think in January we announced we would be granting $125,000 this year, but we had a situation where one of our grants was unable to complete the program, and they offered to return the unused portion of their grant from last year, so it allowed us this year to money in, money out. We now have $132,000 available for granting, and we will be granting money to 11 organizations, having an impact, positive impact on more than 400 women and girls right here in our community. You know, when Shirley and I were talking over the last few weeks about how we wanted to structure the grant breakfast, we realized that previously in the past we've seemed to focus on the history of how we got started, our story, which most of you are familiar with, and what we had accomplished in the first 5 years. But the more we talked, the more we realized that there was kind of a shift in the air. We wanted to focus really on our future and where are we going as an organization. So as we talked, certain questions kept recurring and posing certain questions about our future. So these questions are, you know, where do we really fit in the landscape of our community? And how relevant are we? And the big question is, what is the impact of the Giving Circle in the Rochester community? So these are all questions that we're considering for our future. And so with that, Shirley, do you want to try to explain how we'll attempt to answer these questions?
Oh, no. Thanks, Paula. I would love to, obviously. And we did have wonderful conversations around those issues. And one of the things that became very clear to us is that this is a pivotal year. It's a pivotal year for our community. It's a pivotal year for the Rochester Women's Giving Circle. So let's talk about first our community. This is a community that is facing a number of priorities, a number of issues that we need to address in order to make this community a wonderful community for everyone, not just some. And so those include placing a priority on addressing poverty here, addressing unemployment, which is higher in some segments of the population. Our education system, a school system that isn't providing us with our next generation of best and brightest. And that coupled with things like deficit cuts, budget deficits, and funding cuts, which frankly impact a lot of the agencies who are sitting here today. And that means reduced services to those agencies who provide the very services that may address those priorities we've identified. In Rochester, as always, the community rises to the occasion. And so if you have picked up a newspaper or turned on the local news or listened to the radio, you know that there are a number of initiatives ongoing at this point to address the priorities that we've identified. Things like Rock the Future, Facing Race, Embracing Equity, Unite Rochester, and the race exhibit that brought us information on how race still plays a role in our culture today, impacting so many of us, all of us. So, as Paula said, we talked about where do we fit in all of this? Are we really relevant? We think we are, but then sometimes people believe their own press. And so, and it always feels good. So, we decided, let's not just talk about same old. Let's go and find out how we are perceived in this community, how our community leaders view us. And so with that, we decided to take our act on the road, and we grabbed our camera and our mic, jumped in the car, and we drove to our first stop, which was to visit and knock on the door of our mayor.
It's great to be able to say something on behalf of the Women's Giving Circle. As mayor of the city of Rochester, I understand that there are a large number of problems we face and our citizens face. Among them are the problems that young women and...
Can we start again, because we want to hear. I've got it back, if you could just, yep.
It's great to be able to say something on behalf of the Women's Giving Circle. As mayor of the city of Rochester, I understand that there are a large number of problems we face and our citizens face. Among them are the problems that young women and the young women who run families suffer and struggle with. You're picking a very good subject from our city's point of view. We know that this is an area where great strides can be made, and great strides need to be made. And I'm impressed with what you've been able to accomplish. You've given away almost $500,000, and to have done it in 6 years, to have helped 3,000 people, and to have done it with 115 givers. That's a remarkable, remarkable accomplishment. There's lots to do, and I hope you stick with it. But thank you for what you've done today.
And so, because when we left, feeling very good, obviously, we also recognized that the problems are not just city problems. And in fact, we have a granting area over the entire county. And so while we were in the neighborhood, we decided to walk a couple blocks down Fitzhugh Street and drop in on another community leader, and that is our county exec, Maggie Brooks. And we asked her the same question: how does the Women's Giving Circle make a difference?
Since 2008, the Rochester Women's Giving Circle has provided women and girls in Monroe County with the opportunity to reach their full potential by helping them develop critical life skills and secure economic independence. The Giving Circle is on the front lines each and every day in the fight to battle poverty in the greater Rochester area, often working as a complement to the services provided already by Monroe County. It is no secret that times are difficult right now for thousands of women and their families in both the urban and suburban neighborhoods. That's because poverty knows no racial or socioeconomic boundaries. Despite these challenges, the Giving Circle has been a beacon of light that helps so many impoverished girls and women on their path to self-sufficiency. Over the past 5 years, the Giving Circle has invested more than $450,000 to help over 2,500 women secure vital workforce skills and gainful employment. These days, government just can't do it alone. We need the assistance provided by the Giving Circle and contributions from community supporters like you to truly get the job done for our entire community. Without a doubt, the work accomplished each and every day by the Giving Circle is helping to make Monroe County an even better place for women to live, work, and raise their families. On behalf of the nearly 750,000 residents of Monroe County, I thank you again for all that you do in and for our community. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and please keep up the great work.
Now, very happy campers stepped out of that office and realized not only are we making an impact, but indeed we have a real fit with initiatives that have already been started in this community. But you know, nobody does, and no organization does anything 100% on their own. And we are no exception to that. 6 years ago, when we walked in the doors at the Community Foundation, they welcomed us with open arms. A couple of women who really didn't have much more of a plan than, we want to help out in this community. And they took our fund, housed our fund, and enabled us, gave us immediate credibility in this community because of their standing in philanthropy here. They also gave us a couple of very concrete things. They gave us administrative support for a nominal fee, as well as providing 501c3 status for tax deduction purposes. But here's something that probably you don't know. Because our fund is housed there, our monies throughout the year are invested very conservatively along with the Community Foundation's monies. And so what that fund throws off fully pays for our administrative costs with the foundation. What does that mean? That means that 100% of your money goes directly to women and girls in this community. So as Paula and I talked about this, we said, you know, the last voice we really need to share with our membership comes from a very important person who helped all of this happen. We jumped in the car, drove down East Avenue, and heard from, I'm back, heard from, no, don't touch it. I'm back. There you are.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Leonard from the Rochester Area Community Foundation. I love celebrating making grants for important purposes, and I want to congratulate every member of the Rochester Women's Giving Circle for your dedication to helping women and girls in this community achieve economic self-sufficiency. You know, the child poverty rate in Rochester is the 7th highest in U.S. cities, and that is almost entirely a story about women's poverty. The work that you do goes right of what matters in connecting our community, those who have, those who don't, in ways that actually matter. At the Community Foundation, we've been impressed not just with your growth, you are our first giving circle and certainly still the most successful, but also you understand why it's important to make every dollar count. I'm delighted your grants are getting larger. We're trying to do the same thing. It's important to focus on things that work, on people who are effective, and programs that actually do what they set out to do, or even more. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to the grantees who do the really hard work here. And I hope you have a wonderful awards breakfast this morning.